in the past few weeks here is that my character is essentially going through the 5 stages of grief, but in a very comedic way, in a sense. It's never explicitly stated, but it fits really well to her arc, so I sort of keep that in mind as I'm doing all this weird, creepy, spooky stuff.
I guess with Kemp, he's a very stoic character. He's very direct. If he needs to do something, he goes right to it, and he really wants to keep everybody safe. But he has a lot of emotional baggage too, and like deep down, when the monster gets loose, he is one of the most terrified, even if he doesn't show it. So I really enjoy like bringing that out, that duality.
My character is kind of the complete opposite. I'm just out of control. I'm never really like thinking before I'm acting out, so it's a really interesting character to play.
Inga is like, she's hired by Igor to be Freddy's lab assistant. But I try to keep in the mind that she's actually very smart. She went to school for these things, and that she has this whole like outside background. The reason why she really wants this job opportunity is because it gets her away from everything going on like back home.
We've done some fun character work. We had to do walking exercises. We came up with who our characters in the ensemble would be and how they would walk, which I don't know how we're using that in the show, but it definitely influenced how we are as an ensemble and like as a group.
I know also for the entourage for character work, we did something where we would pretend to be our characters from the entourage in different settings, such as like the beach or like trying to like build a campfire, and like that was super fun, like trying to figure out like what role we each have like within that like small subset of the ensemble.
I think something I've struggled with a little bit that I'm trying to get really solid by the showtime is like just always commanding the stage when I'm there, because that's very much like who she is. Like she commands everyone around her, so she has to have the presence and command the stage.
I try and keep in mind how much I love Alec Albright, who happens to be playing Freddy.
Okay.
Because Igor just loves the guy, and it's honestly such a bromance, and it's not reciprocated.
No.
But that doesn't stop Igor from trying his darndest
Repeatedly.
and failing. Wow, does he fail?
I think my favorite part of the show is right at the beginning of putting on the Ritz, and Freddy and the monster have just started this sort of bond together, and they tell the musician to hit it, and then they open their arms and 2 canes appear, and it's just the coolest thing in the world.
My favorite part of the show is Quincy as the blind hermit when he's singing his song about how he's so lonely, because it's just so overdramatic and over the top. It's so funny.
The blind hermit character, there's an entire scene, and that scene does not need to be there, right, in the show. And the whole point of that scene is that it's so ridiculous, and it's hilarious. It's so funny watching that from off stage.
I really like the first few scenes. I really love the brain, which is kind of the getting to know Freddy song, and the I'm a professor and I know a lot about neuroscience.
Freddy's first song, The Brain, because that's his big introduction, and that song has been a challenge for me because it's something new, something I'm not used to, and so being a part of something different has been really cool and really fun to do every time.
When Igor and Freddy meet up for the first time, and they have their big Together Again for the First Time song, it gets me every single time in rehearsal watching it. I laugh every single time.
It's just this giant, silly, goofy, like, show number, and they're just dancing all over the place and, like, having a great time, and it just I've seen it, you know, like, 80 times now, and I crack up every single time.
For me, favorite to perform would definitely be when Freddy makes me smart. He uses his scientific know-how to turn me into a genius, and I get to speak in a sophisticated manner that I get to transition from this big lumbering oaf earlier on to someone who can speak and someone who is just like knows what's going on, and I love being able to make that transition on stage.
My favorite scene that that I'm in would be He's Loose. It's a really intense song with us trying to find the monster. Yeah, there's a lot behind that song, so really enjoyed that one.
But I also really, really love watching you as the monster, like, and just before you turn smart, like, you're just so funny to watch, like, during Putting on the Ritz, like,
Yeah.
the way he speaks as an illiterate.
He has his own language, right?
It's so funny.
Yeah, I think as you're watching the show, watch what's going on, but just take a look around and, like, look at the whole stage picture, because there's just a lot of, everyone on the stage is just so talented and so funny and has worked so hard, and they're all fun to watch.